Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Nier Automata. We've been tasked with heading back down to Earth from the orbital bunker to make contact with a resistance camp down here. And it gives us a chance to see a different side of Earth than we saw before, which was very industrial. And this... oh, hold on. This is a locked chest, which we can't access right now. There were a couple of those hidden and scattered around the prologue, but they have to be hacked into, which 2B cannot do on our own.
Target location acquired. Marking on map. Proposal. Proceed to target location.
Yeah, pretty view of where we're heading down to. We're going down to the ground floor. Nier had a very similar aesthetic with all the dilapidated skyscrapers. Remember, it was just like this, post-apocalyptic. Just not as far in the future, post-apocalyptic. It went for more of like a high fantasy kind of aesthetic. Whereas this is more like your standard overgrowth, nature, reclaiming the land, that kind of deal. So at first, it looks like they want you to keep falling down hole by hole down to the bottom of the building, but there's another way to get to the ground floor. Drifting down, floating down on the pod. You could also just drop like a Led Zeppelin and take some falling damage. But there's also some other hidden movement stuff that you can do with a pod that's more obscure than that. For instance, you can have it launch you as a projectile. We're gonna set you on, I guess, balanced, so you don't just attack every one of the tiny little cute robots around here on sight. That's what I was referring to with having the pod launch you from midair. Gets you a considerable distance, too. It also does some damage when you collide with an enemy. And that's just hitting the pod button plus X again in midair. You can do some cool movement stuff with this game. So most of these guys are pretty docile until you get really close to them. Some of them only attack you once you even begin attacking them. These ones are worth taking out just because this vending machine is a camouflaged access point.
Map data obtained from bunker. Data may be displayed from the system menu.
Map data, huh? It's hard to get an accurate... According to our intel, none of the machines in this area are hostile. We've been seeing more and more enemies like this lately. They just stand there and stare into space. It's pretty weird.
Hey, there you go. By unlocking the access point means that we have access to quick saving the area, plus we get the map data. But the quick saving is what we really, really want. Man, I never fully appreciated how pretty this area is. Look at that scourge of nature. Trotting amongst the machines. This deadly ass moose. So the moose can be ridden. They can act as mounts. We don't have access to the things that we need to ride them yet. They cannot drift like the boars in Nier. But for those upset by that, I will just say this. Don't worry. Don't worry. Good. So with some of the movement tech in Automata, to continue on that thought, Automata doesn't have quite the depth of a traditional character action game, but like I've said before, we've got some hidden stuff. Especially with the movement tech that we'll explore as the LP unfolds. I think you can't... oh, look at this. This calm brook out here even has its own fishing hole. We're not going to fish yet. Fishing in Nier Automata is not nearly as abysmal as it was in Nier. Oh, I think the fishing in Nier resulted in one of the most negative, like, non-reviews by Justin McElroy at Joystick years and years ago. Because it was part of the main quest that you actually had to fish for a little bit. It's like one of those reviews made infamous by, you know, a game's cult fan base because people struggle to deal with opinions that are different than their own. Especially for like cult hits like this where people feel like, oh, this game is so good it deserves better than this. Like Jim Sterling's 4 out of 10 for Vanquish. I'm glad we found this body before hitting the resistance camp up ahead. So you can find bodies of players who died in the world, and you can pray to heal them. It sends heal back to them in their own world. You can retrieve the body to get a heal yourself and a temporary buff. You can also reactivate the corpse and repair it to help you out. The buffs are usually minor. They depend on the chip setup that the player was using. And the buff lasts a very, very short amount of time.
So this is the resistance camp, huh? We should probably go talk to their leader first thing.
It's more like a resistance shantytown. Jesus, this is serene music. So I don't know if anyone's gonna have too much to say, but look at this strange resistance woman. Pretty sure she's like some sort of director insert for Yoko Taro. But no one's gonna have much to say before we speak to the leader.
About 2B?
Yes, well, the bunker told me to expect you. My name is Anemone. I'm the leader of the android resistance that controls most of this territory. You must be the new scouts we heard about. Well, I'm sure my people will have plenty of information for you. Please feel free to ask them anything you like.
So the leader... Oh, the lyrics kicking in. The leader is an enemy, who I hope doesn't turn out to be our enemy. What if she was an enemy who could clone herself? Then there could be 70 enemy and enemies threatening me. Hopefully there aren't 70 enemy and enemies, and instead an enemy's friendly and shows me plenty of amenities. I think I may have used part of that rhyme in Neo. I don't even know anymore. This pink-haired android over here controls the jukebox. We can collect records to play the jukebox to just listen to the game's music, and why would we not want this? It's such a gorgeous soundtrack. And you get detailed options when you select music to play at it too. You can select so many variants of all of the tracks too, and different parts of the arrangement, whether or not you're playing an instrumental version. And it'll play throughout parts of the camp. You have to be relatively close to the jukebox, but yeah. So this is the weapons trader. We were directed to talk to 3 instrumental people throughout the camp. It excludes one pretty important NPC here in the resistance camp, but we'll get around to that person. But we want to talk to the weapons trader. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. We want to look at the toolbox. Yep, busted. And that prompts us to help him out. He wants us to get some complex gadgets around the ruined city for the weapon dealer's request. Now, that's technically a side quest. We'll get back to the strange resistance woman in a second. There you are. The other person in the camp, aside from the strange resistance woman, is the supply trader. This person and the weapons dealer have 2 side quests for us, but they're more or less mandatory. We also want to get a satchel. We'll make animals more docile when approached, and we also want to get some animal baits. because when you lay down bait in front of an animal, they will focus entirely on eating it for a little while, and while they're eating, you can run up behind them and you can mount them and ride them around. It's fucking rad. Y'all want to ride a moose, right? Yeah, thought so. We gotta ride some moose. The supply trader has a bum leg, and they don't want to use parts for the resistance to repair it themselves, so we have to go get some bullshit for them. These are basic material collection side quests, which unlock really crucial functions around the camp. So again, they're not really side quests. They're introductory side quests within the main quest. So, her mask is to shield her from electromagnetic waves. Just kidding. She will give you some tutorials, and in doing so, she really likes to break the fourth wall. She also explains some things about the game that you aren't really introduced to in a forceful manner. And she even says, like, there are things hidden in the tutorial menu that they don't really teach you. One of those things is that pod launch trick that I showed earlier. That's in the tutorial menu, but they never actually take time while you're playing to explain that that thing exists. Let's see, the maintenance shop, weirdly enough, is not something that you're introduced to in that little, like, go around the camp, meeting NPCs diversion that we just had. But she's really important because she can upgrade your pod, she can fuse your upgrade chips, which is a mechanic we'll get into in a little bit. And she sells new pod programs, most of which are analogs to spells from the original Nier. Just with a technological basis instead of a magical one. And then we have this side-scrolling section of the camp we can come to. Oh, we can't really quite jump up on the scaffolding. We actually have to come across to the right side and take the ladder up. But it's worth it because we get a small recovery from the chest over there. 9S is having a problem jumping up here, and he's making a fool of himself. He's making a damn fool of himself. We have the manager back here. And that's where some supplies are stored. We can't go back there yet, though. So I think that's it for the time being. Oh, except for the right side here, there are a couple of people gathered around a bonfire. Can't wait to have a drink after work. They're still androids, by the way. They are not humans. I'll get out of the way too. Oh, man. 9S. So I think we have had a sufficient introduction to everyone around the camp. There's still you back here. I think this might be... Yep, that's another one that has to be hacked into. Let's just say we won't get the function to do that for quite a long time. We can at least unlock... nope, still nothing in the inbox. We can unlock the access point. Again, just saving possible. What a strange phrasing of that. Saving possible.
This must have been quite a city once upon a time. Too bad vegetation's claimed most of it now.
Operator 60 to 2B. It is time for your regularly scheduled contact.
This is 2B. Nothing to report.
Good to hear. Say, how's the weather on Earth today? Good?
It's fine. Does that question have anything to do with our operation?
Not really. I just figured it might feel nice to have some good weather.
Feeling nice has no bearing on completing missions.
That is so like you, 2B. Anyway, talk to you later.
Yeah, just laughs it off. part of Doobie's hard-ass personality. Emotions and personality are prohibited, and yet her demeanor is very dry, but it's still a personality. So, the nice thing about these material collection side quests is they aren't really grindy here like they were in Nier. They give you like a general small location that's marked on the map. The game spawns a couple of enemies in at that location, and they have guaranteed material drops. And you go and get them real quick. There's no lengthy periods of grinding, hoping for a thing to drop anymore. They streamlined some of the more tedious shit from Nier. Like, better side quests, quality of life, even for the side quests that aren't all that spectacular or good. Oh god, there are no Yakuza 0 side quests. That's got the best side quests ever. There's no mandatory shitty fishing. Even the way you unlock the other critical endings isn't tied to weapon collecting like in Nier and Drakengard.
Trader asked for.
That's all you had to say about that. But we do kind of have to get and max out all the weapons anyway to see something else.
The Resistance is a valuable ally to Yorha. By helping them, we also help ourselves. So no, I don't think they're a pain.
Yeah.
Always focused on the mission. But yeah, so that's not so bad. Getting and maxing out all the weapons. It's not so bad in Automata. It was a little bit tougher in Nier. I think it's easier here than it was in that game.
This is the place that weapons trader was talking about. Uh-oh. I'm picking up hostile machine life forms.
The only really shitty grindy thing is pod upgrades, which is not necessary or even particularly useful to do all that much of. And you can see that these bigger robots are a little bit different from the ones that we fought in the prologue, in that these ones are wielding like Gorehowl. They have some very large axes, trying to cleave us in twain. I'm gonna focus on this one. 9S can do his thing with the other. Let's see who kills our respective robot first. Oh, we actually finished them around the same time. 9S getting the work done. We should have some stuff around here. Yes, we do. Oh, this is a body. Whoops, didn't fry. Aw, poor that guy. Didn't get that much gold, though. Oh, so I meant to start talking about this back in the camp when we were talking to the strange resistance woman, and she mentioned why she wears the mask. So I said I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be a stand-in for Yoko Taro, who is constantly wearing an Emil mask. I think before Nier came out, it was he wore a mask of a Drakengard character. I'm not particularly sure. Like, I know when Drakengard 3 was coming out, he did interviews with a sock puppet. I don't know what he did before Nier and Drakengard 3, though. I don't ever want to know what he looks like.
Let's get these back to the trader.
I don't want to believe he has a human face. Like, I hope someday someone tries to run up behind him and snatch the mask, and underneath it's just another mask. I know there has to be photographs and video of him before Nier was even like a glint in his eye, and I don't want to see any of that footage. I want the information from those interviews and stuff. I just want written transcripts. I don't know. I don't want to know he has a human face. There was a Square Enix live stream with an imposter Yoko Taro who took off his mask at the end of it and revealed that it was Hideki Kamiya Platinum all along. And he doesn't like photos. He doesn't like taking photos or being photographed, which is the only reason I've ever heard for the mask. It might also be an anxiety thing, or he just wants to stay anonymous. He doesn't want to be constantly hounded while he's out just in his everyday life. Something like that, maybe? Now we're gonna turn this in real quick. So he's still not gonna use the parts to fix his leg. I love this bit of dialogue about why he won't repair his left leg so much. I love this. So this comes from an old existentialist thought experiment called the Ship of Theseus, which asks this. If you replace every part of a ship down to the last single plank of wood, is it still fundamentally the same ship that you started out with? When you apply that to the self, though, which the closer you get to like transhumanism and stuff, the more relevant that becomes. That's a very provocative and sometimes scary question. Like, let's frame it like this, right? I am 27 years old. Over the course of 27 years of cells dividing and undergoing apoptosis and all this, is there a single original cell left of the me that came out of the womb? If not, am I the same person now as I was when I was born? Questioning the continuity of existence and what makes up personhood is one of the best parts of good science fiction, and Automata is a fine work of sci-fi. Oh, man. And they introduced some fun stuff like that so early. So we're taking a glance at the weapon shop real fast to show something. First, remember we have the dual weapon setups. One weapon is always slotted in for light attacks, the other for heavies. We lost our long sword after the prologue, so we only have the light one, and we have a barehanded setup for the heavy attacks at the time being. You can switch which is which on the fly, we remember that. There's barehanded moveset that we've seen up till now. And there's also a story for each weapon. How long can I fight amidst this bloody vortex of a battlefield? How long, I wonder? And 3 of those slots, 3 of those stanzas are locked. I believe more story unlocks as you upgrade a weapon up to level 4. So we'll revisit this concept later. The reason that I bought a sword from him, though, is not just so I have another weapon for my heavy attacks. Because I could do with the bare-handed moveset. This is why. Because after you buy one weapon, he mentions this character, the person that he gets his weapon supply from. This line of dialogue is very interesting. It's an Easter egg referencing a character named Accord, who is a pivotal character in Drakengard 3. Now, there is a bit of baggage to unpack with who Accord is and what she does and her relevance to all of this. Might even be relevant to this game. We are going to talk about Accord next time, though. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.